Hey, so this message is for all the young men on this app. Really, it's for anybody that's sexually active. Be careful who you lay down with and who you reproduce with. Speaking from experience, the last thing you want to do is co-parent. And no, my co-parenting situation isn't just drama or violence or nothing like that. It's actually really good. But the last thing I wanted was to have a broken home. Now my kids see me on weekends and sometimes only weeks at a time. The shit is real ghetto, to say the least. I got to co-parent with two women and whoever they with at the time. My kids are always asking me questions like, "Hey daddy, when you coming home? Are we gonna stay forever this time?" And the shit hits you. It hits you differently. Don't be like Dre. Be better. Some of those nights full of passion bring a lifetime full of pain. And no, I'm not saying my kids are pain. I'm saying the situation that they're in is painful. It was never supposed to be like this. Hey, so
This is one of the most interesting takes when it comes to like co-parenting or whatever the case may be. This was weird. This was weird. Dre, sir, I hear the bigger point you're trying to make as far as you like the healthiest outcomes are going to be typically the healthiest outcomes for children are typically going to come from two-parent households. Everybody knows that, right? But you started off this video very odd, in a very odd way. The first few statements, I was like, okay, like let me hear where this goes. But I even already my eyebrows were raised. But like, watch.
message is for all the young men on this app. Really, it's for anybody that's sexually active. Be careful who you lay down with and who you reproduce with.
Okay, so when I hear that, I'm getting from that like, oh man, potentially these women or this woman did this dude wrong. You know what I'm saying? And now he has to co-parent or whatever because he thought she was one person, but she wasn't. She was a different person, right? Okay. That's what I got from it.
Speaking from experience, the last thing you want to do is co-parent. And no, my co-parenting situation isn't just drama or violence or nothing like that. It's actually really good. But the last thing I wanted was to have a broken home. Now my kids see me on weekends and sometimes only weeks at a time. The shit is real ghetto, to say the least. I got to co-parent with two women.
Bingo. So you got to co-parent with two women. So you're the problem? You're the common denominator. It's you. You didn't like the thing about these types of messages that I hate is that you're not actually offering any tangible solutions to men's problems, right? To people's problems, but definitely men. Like, hey, co-parenting sucks. It ain't for the faint of heart. Okay, well then talk about how you ruin two relationships and now you have to co-parent. You see what I'm saying? You're basically saying like be careful who you lay down with, but what does that have to like? What did that have to do with anything? What do you mean? Anybody you lay down with, potentially you can get pregnant, right? For the most part. So what does that have to do with the situation? It's not that. They can say that about you. Like the women can get on here and be like, yo, be careful who you lay down with, because this motherfucker could end up being abusive, or this dude could end up being neglectful, or whatever the case may be. But like you don't get to say that. Like you're the common denominator here. You're the common denominator. And the way that if you really wanted to help men, you got to tell men how to avoid not being the catalyst for the breakup. That's what you should be doing. You should be talking to men like, hey man, I would do anything if I would give anything to go back in time, right? And be the person that I needed to be for the mother of my children to be able to stay with me. I would listen to the things that she told me. She asked me to show up for her. She asked me to do X, Y, and Z. You know what I mean? Like whatever, right? And that's what I like. That's what I want to leave y'all with. I really want to leave y'all with like, hey man, you gotta mature, you gotta learn, you gotta listen, you have to learn how to be the best version of yourself, you have to learn how to pay attention, how to be attention, no, whatever. Like that's the lesson. That's the lesson here. Not be careful who you lay down with, because it sounds like you're not actually taking accountability at that point, right? You're still trying to shift the blame onto the women as if like, man, if I just would have laid down with some women who were willing to accept, my shortcomings, then I would still be in a relationship with them. That's what I get from this. And I don't understand, like, when did you realize that this sucked? Because you had a baby, you realized it sucked then you had another baby and ruined that relationship too. Now I'm supposed to listen to you? Like, come on, fam. It's just odd. All of these things are odd. I don't know if you guys are doing this for attention. I don't know if you really felt like this needed to be said or something like that, but it didn't need to be said. It's some pseudo deep bullshit. Like, it really is, right? It's sad. Yep. This is sad hearing this.
And whoever they with at the time. My kids are always asking me questions like, hey, Daddy, when you coming home? Are we going to stay forever this time?
Go get them babies.
And the shit hits you. It hits you differently. Don't be like Dre. Be better. Some of those nights full of passion bring a lifetime full of pain. And no, I'm not saying my kids are pain. I'm saying the situation that they're in is painful.
It's just hard for me to believe that you guys care this deeply about it, but you allowed yourself to be put in a situation, or you put yourself in a situation not once but twice, Dre. Not once but twice. And you can't sell me on it's the woman's fault, because it happened twice. Like, what are the odds? Like, okay, I'll give you one. Maybe it happened one time. Even then, I doubt it. But maybe it happened one time. But it happened twice? Nah, bro. I'm not getting that vibe. I'm not getting that you actually care. You said you see the kids twice a month. Also, why not see them more? You are seeing your children twice a month. Why are you seeing your kids only twice a month? What are you doing? What is going on? Where do they live? Do they live far away from each other? Do they live on opposite sides of the state? Like, it just, yeah. I can't feel bad for you. I'm sorry. If you were looking for any type of like empathy or any type of like understanding or anything, I have no empathy for you whatsoever. It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't get this. I don't understand like what was the point of this video. And also, like, you could have done better. Spend a block on one of those women if you can, man. At least make one of the houses whole. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, dude. I don't know. You guys are funny with this though. I always find these types of videos funny. You guys are never really offering like a real solution. It always just sounds like victim blaming underneath it all at the end of the day, unfortunately.